Google Ads is not broken, guys. By the way most people use it could be costing them leads, calls, and sales. I'm going to break down 3 rules that can lower your CPA and boost your conversion rate without spending a dollar more, people. What's going on today? It's boy Jeremy here with a brand new video. And today, I'm going to be exploring some hidden truths. Ad costs are rising, budgets are under fire, and AI is changing faster than most businesses can keep up. If you feel stuck spending money and not seeing any results, guys, then you're not alone. It's not just about bidding higher or writing a better headline, guys. That old playbook does not cut it anymore. And in this video, I'm going to show you some strategies that you can use for your clients and your business that can potentially save them thousands a day. Strategies that turn wasted clicks into booked appointments, missed calls into paying customers, and flat campaigns into revenue machines. If you've ever wondered how your ads could finally start pulling their weight, these tips and tricks could help move the needle for your conversion rates for your Google Ads. So stick around, guys. We're gonna go into it today. So guys, by the end of today, you will learn how to outsmart smart bidding and why maximized conversions might not be the best strategy for you. Why click-through rate is overrated and how to qualify the right clicks that attracts buyers and repels time wasters. And a hidden goldmine strategy for your calls, utilizing offline conversion events in order to optimize your Google call conversions. How to track those answered calls and how to attribute those calls, feed it back into Google Ad Manager. Hopefully you have a better understanding of how you can potentially reduce your CPA, capture more qualified leads, and improve the real results of your Google Ads for your business. So guys, grab your coffees and grab your hats. It's time to spin out some magic. Woo. Simple ways that we can optimize conversion rate, and hopefully some new things for you guys so that you can also think about this and think about how it applies to your business and what you can do with your Google Ads to optimize your conversion rate even more. Okay, so maybe you've thought about these things, maybe you haven't, but these are 3 simple tips and tricks that I'm going to recommend we can utilize to increase our conversion rate with our Google Ads. So guys, most of you hopefully will know that conversion is conversions divided by clicks. Okay, how many conversions or how many actions has somebody taken divided by how many clicks has it taken to get there? Okay, you'll get a percentage, and this is your conversion rate percentage. Okay, really important to keep a lookout on this, guys, because this is one of the key metrics that we look at for performance and to understand how our tests are moving the needle for our conversion rate. So we always want to make sure that if we're testing something new, that those conversion rates go up. So guys, those who are unfamiliar, is conversions divided by clicks. This is how we calculate our conversion rate. And now this is the thing that we are trying to optimize for in our tips and tricks here, guys. So all of these tips and tricks that I'm going to go through today will hopefully increase the conversion rate of your Google Ads. If you're seeing that you're getting some traffic, you're getting some clicks, you're getting some conversions, but the conversion rate is quite weak, you're getting lots of clicks to your landing pages, to your website, but people aren't converting, these are the types of tips and tricks that we're going to be looking at today. You look at your Google Ad structures and say, hey, maybe we could try and test some of these things to see if we can get even better conversion rates. Okay, so that's exactly what we're going to do today, guys. Okay, so really simple here. This is conversion calculation, conversions divided by clicks. So I'll just go through that, guys. So guys, the first tip and trick I'm going to go through is about smart bidding. Okay, so rule number 1 is smart bidding. Okay, so regardless of whether or not you're spending $1,000 a day, $20 a day, or whatever, okay, all of these tips and tricks, you can hopefully utilize these in your strategies and kind of think a little bit about how you can apply this to your business. Okay, so smart bidding, guys. Okay, this is one of the biggest pitfalls, let's say, that a lot of advertisers are kind of falling into. Okay, that's they let Google take all of the budget and spend for them rather than teaching Google how to spend for them. Okay, so this is my rule number 1, guys, and it's around smart bidding. It's looking specifically at maximized number of conversions. Now, maximized number of conversions is very typical and is set as a default in your conversion campaigns and is what a lot of advertisers actually use. But guys, I want to draw your attention on some negatives to using, for example, maximized number of conversions. As we can see here, the smart bidding strategies at Google that we can tap into with our Google Ads is increase the number of sales or leads or increase the profit of those leads and customers. So if you have thought about your average order value, okay, and you want to find more people who are likely to spend more, then this is where smart bidding strategy optimization can occur. I'm going to give you some food for thought right now, okay? And I'm going to give you an example, guys, because this is what a very talented advertiser told me. She said, imagine, for example, that you have tasked someone to go and buy some apples from the supermarket. And what we're doing is asking Google to go and buy those apples for us. This is a very easy and simple analogy as to how maximize the number of conversions work. Say, for example, I give Google, hey, Google, here's $20. Go and buy me some apples, okay? And it goes to the supermarket. And say, for example, there is one apple on the shelf and another really shriveled up little tiny apple, okay? What Google's going to do is going to give the supermarket $20 for those 2 apples. And it's going to come back and say, hey, You told me to go and buy apples, and here are the apples that are available. I've spent my $20, right? So it's spent $20 on 2 apples because you've given her the instruction to say, go and find me some apples. Okay, go in this location and find me some apples and spend that budget. So Google has taken the whole budget and gone and bought and bid for whatever is there. Okay, so this is the problem with maximize number of conversions. It's going to go and spend your money regardless of how many conversions are actually there. So what do we do instead? This is where smart bidding comes in, guys. Rule number 1 is to think about a little bit about your bidding strategies, okay, and how we can utilize something like smart bidding within our Google ads, okay, because we can increase the conversion rate and the effectiveness of our ads if we look at these things. So the first thing you need to do is understanding your business goal, okay, what is the business objective? What are you trying to achieve with your Google ads? So it's really, really important for you to look through the lens and say, hey, what are we trying to achieve here, guys? Do you want more leads? Do you want more sales? Or do you want higher value transactions from your ads? If it is about volume, okay, if it's about lead volume, sales volume, and you have some data that has come through already, I don't recommend doing this right from the offset because typically we have to wait for some data to come into the ad manager. But if you are looking for volume of sales or volume of leads, don't forget a target CPA can be your best friend to help Google understand what it is that you're willing to pay for. Here, you really need to have a good understanding as to what each level of the customer journey is value to you at your business. So you might not be able to do this from the very offset as you're starting to learn and gain signals. But once you do have those signals and you do know what works and you do know what each conversion action is worth to your business, then we can set in target CPAs to say, hey, don't go and spend $20 on 1 apple, okay? I will be happy to spend $1 on 1 apple. You're telling Google in this example, this is what I'm willing to spend on one of those apples in the supermarket, okay? So ensure that you are using target CPA. If your ad account is slightly more refined, it's slightly more mature, and you're wanting to optimize even more. Again, like I said, this isn't if you're first starting out on Google Ads. This is already if you've got some conversion data come in, your ad account is primed with data, and now that you have some data, you want to set even more boundaries, you want to optimize the conversion rate even more, you can tell Google, hey, this is actually what we want to pay for our conversions. So that's why target CPA can be your best friends, but only if you put that guardrail in place, guys. The second step, after you've established your business goal, is to understand when profit or revenue matters more than volume. Okay, so this is the second step to this, guys. And step 2 isn't looking at target CPA, is looking at target ROAS. Okay, so again, when you have some of this data already in there, using smart strategies like target CPA, like target ROAS, to tell Google, hey, this is what we want to spend on our ads, on these acquisitions, on these conversions, because otherwise Google's going to go and spend all the budget just trying to look for the limited conversions that there are and spend all that budget getting those. But if we give Google some guardrails, then it's going to know how much we're wanting to spend, okay? And then it's a lot more adherent to the budgets and the KPIs that we have set and we are looking to aim toward. Okay, so something you might see in your Google Ad Manager, for example, if you set your target ROAS, it might look something like this. So you might want to set, for example, at a portfolio level, your target ROAS. This is what we want to achieve. And we want to achieve a 4x ROAS. You can go into the Ad Manager and specifically say, this is what we want the target ROAS to be, okay? And then you can look at the portfolio level to ensure that all of your ads are profitable at a certain level, okay? This is what we're willing to spend. It's not just the target CPA, it's 4 times the revenue of an ad conversion. That is what is valuable to the business, okay? So we can set a target ROAS as well. Now, guys, step 3 is to look at what is known as value-based bidding, okay? Value-based bidding best practices we're looking at now. Is because this is an advanced layer, guys, and I made a video. I'm going to go stick the link up in the top corner, okay, on how to do this with Meta ads. The idea here is that we're training our ad AI to tell Google or Meta what each conversion in the customer journey is actually valued to the business ad, right? So it has guardrails to know, okay, when somebody submits a lead details, it's worth $20 for us. When they attend the call, it's worth $50 to us. If they buy the product or book the service and they land on the thank you page, that's worth $200 to us, right? So we're using value-based bidding to tell along every step of the customer journey, tell Google and Meta what each of those conversion steps as value to the business. Okay, and again, these are guardrails with training wheels for Google and Meta to know what it needs to do to optimize for the things that is most valuable. Okay, so when somebody lands on that thank you page after they bought the product or service, that is the most valuable thing. Okay, so if we change our bidding strategy to value-based bidding, it's going to look for those customers that are going to inject the most value, or the most money, or the most revenue into the business. So we're optimizing for the money that somebody's bringing in versus just leads that are coming in, okay, which have different qualifiable value. Some leads come in just looking for more information. Some leads come in looking for some assistance, okay? And this is not the customer that we want. We want customers that are in the consideration and decision-making stage of the customer journey to drive value for our business. They're the ones that are going to take action, that are ready to take action now, and not top of funnel where they've just heard of you, okay? You might take some warming up before they take action. So middle and bottom of funnel, make sure that you are looking at these things for your business. To give you another example, if somebody is downloading a white paper, that's valued less to the business. And then if someone books an hour-long demo with the company and is on the call for a full hour, that is worth so much more to the company than somebody just downloading the white paper initially, okay? So these are how we need to think about it, guys, and we can set these training wheels so that Google and Meta know exactly what is most valuable to us. And to my point, guys, as you may say, or as you might realize, not every lead has the same value. This is what we can do using value-based bidding to quantify each conversion action and to ensure that we just have high quality, high resonant people ready to take action, booking these calls, and not just people looking for more information, for example. To give you another example, guys, to really bring this home, is that we have also tried doing some of these things, and some of the tests that we found out is that if, for example, you put $1 for every single conversion action, and Google doesn't know actually what is more important to the business, to stagger your bidding across different things that matter most to your business, okay? And when we did start doing this, it tells Google what exactly does move the needle for our business, okay? So, and if you're not controlling your bidding strategy, guys, you're basically letting Google play. It's like your money is chips at casino. In these particular examples, Google always wins in those scenarios, okay? So you have to step in and set the rules for Google, okay? So really, really important, guys, to maximize your conversion rates, that we look at some of your bidding strategies first of all. So something that you may want to do is to, rather than looking at maximize the number of conversions, that you look at maximizing the conversion value instead, which will give you more valuable and qualified leads or purchases with higher average order values or higher customer lifetime values. Okay, so look at your bidding strategy, guys. That's my tip. And rule number one to optimizing conversion rates is to look at your bidding strategies and how you're currently maximizing these to see if there is any room for improvement, and maybe we can set some new bidding strategies in that could potentially optimize our conversion rates. The key thing here, guys, okay, that I really want to also remind you guys or say is that we are looking specifically for at least 15 conversions in your Google Ads account per month. Okay, this will exit the learning phase, more the better, but this will give Google a good understanding as to how your conversions are occurring and happening at a business level. And if you have at least 15, so what Google say is a good number for Google to optimize around. It's to aim for 15 conversions. If you're able to increase your bids and your ad spend to tap into 15 conversions, then after that, Google will optimize even more. Okay, guys, so for rule number 2 on optimizing your conversion rate with Google Ads and tips and tricks that I recommend to you guys. Rule number 2 is where a lot of advertisers lose their shirts, honestly. They end up chasing clicks instead of qualified leads, basically, right? And we're going to show you what we can do there, because click-through rate, as we have been told, isn't always the be-all and end-all of our Google Ads in terms of the reception or the effectiveness of our ads. Click-through rate is the next rule that I'm going to go through to qualify that click and not just chase it. And you want to look at the ad level in the Google Ads Manager, okay? Because here you will see data around each individual ad. And as you know, or as you may think, the advice for many years has been to get a high click-through rate, okay? Get those high click-through rates, guys. The better the click-through rate, the better that ad must be, right? But guys, let me challenge that. What if, for example, your high click-through rate is actually the reason that your conversion rate is tanking? How can that be? What am I saying? Well, guys, here's why, okay? When you specifically write ads that gets everyone to click, okay, your click-through rate will be really, really high. But what you might find is that as people land on the landing page, they're not converting, okay? So the landing page conversion rate is really low. So this is why looking at both of those data points is really, really key to help inform your strategy, okay? But before we go anywhere else, any new here, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss any more important updates. We in here many times a week. Now, business owners, other advertisers, and digital marketeers get the best from their online advertising, paid media, digital marketing strategies. But without further ado, let's get on with the video. High click-through rate doesn't necessarily mean a high conversion rate. And this is what we need to look at, guys. We need to understand this. The reason is because as we are focused on getting everyone to click, we're not really hyper-focused on the people that are going to drive action, okay? That are really going to resonate with what we're saying. We're just looking for people and anyone to just click on our ad because that means good click-through rate means good ad, right? But when you realize, for example, that half of those clicks aren't interested, don't actually like you, just came for some free things or whatever, your budget to get them there just got eaten alive, okay? Google just ate your budget alive. And none of those people have taken action, therefore it does not move the needle for your business. It doesn't move the bottom line for your business. It's a mindset shift, guys, that your ads job isn't just to attract attention, but it's also to filter out those people that aren't ready to take action. This is where the click-through rate comparison really drives in home, because if we have a lower click-through rate, very likely to take action, that is actually far far more desirable than having a high click-through rate on an ad with a low conversion rate on the landing page. If you think of it like a magnet, for example, a magnet doesn't just pull everything towards it, it also pushes away that which doesn't belong. So your ad needs to be like a magnet, guys, okay? Attracting good things and repelling the things that isn't actually good for it. And what I mean by this, guys, is to be very, very explicit in your ad who you're talking to, okay? If you are, for example, an investment company where you're trying to attract first-time investors, having an offer around, start off your account creation with just the first $1 spent or something like this, it's a very attractive offer for those beginner investors. However, an ad that says, minimum $500 needed to invest, you're targeting somebody who's slightly more mature. What you don't want to do in this example is to drive the attention of the more advanced investors to a Robinhood account where it's just for beginners, okay? So within these examples, we have to be very, very explicit as to who we're talking to in the headline itself, is to specify this in the ad headline itself, okay? So you have to be very, very specific so that the more advanced investor doesn't end up clicking on that Robinhood. They know what the offer is, and they know that the second option is more for them because it's $500 minimum spend, okay? So it's actually targeting them, it's talking to them, okay? And you'll find that you won't get Robinhood users clicking on the more advanced option because they're beginners, right? And the offer for them is start off at $1 investment, okay? And the other one is start at just $500 investment, okay? You're targeting two different people. So put those pieces of information in your ad headline itself, okay? And then don't forget to pin that ad headline. What is really, really important for your ad and what you not want to be moved around. As we know, Google Ads, it can swap and switch different headlines and description copies around depending on what's going to work best. But when we pin certain headlines, it's saying to Google, hey, we don't want this to move. We want this to be the main section of the ad itself. We don't want that to move. It's a really, really important, guys. So how do we do this, guys? Well, rule number one is you have to define your audience, saying who are you targeting? Clearly, who is the ad for? You don't want anyone just to click on it. Okay, you want to qualify people using headline text in your ad to ensure that the people who are ready to take action, are already relevant to your business, are the ones clicking so that the conversion rate increases. The second step here is to use qualifiers in your headlines and descriptions. Don't just write, free consultation or something like, because that's an offer but it's too vague. Instead, you could be really, really specific and say, free consultation for business owners making over 50K a month. So in this example, you're not trying to win every click, you're just trying to win the right clicks, okay? And this is what we want to aim towards. We don't want just a volume of clicks. We want the right people to click. In your ad headline and description, to add those qualifiers in so that somebody doesn't click on your ad before they actually know that this is meant for them. The third step in this rule is to set the expectations for the landing pages. So what do I mean by that? Well, if your ad promises one thing and then they click on the landing page and it's completely different, you'll lose trust instantly, okay? Really, really important, guys, that we don't do that we harmonize with the ad journey. And if they click on a certain ad, that the landing page also resembles that ad. So it's a continuation of that ad journey. Another tip and trick that we love to use is if you're using any faces in your ad, if you're using any UGC, is to use those faces in the landing page that your ad is connected to. Again, it builds that resonation. People have clicked on an ad where they see a face, they land on the landing page where the same face is there. They know this is a continuation of that journey. The dislocation happens where they click on a landing page and something they feel is completely different to the ad that they clicked on. They'll bounce and you don't get the conversion, right? So guys, my number 2 is ad should be magnetic. As I said, you don't worry so much as well about the ad strength. This plays no indication for Google at all. It's just to make sure that you're setting in the right parameters in each ad. This ad strength doesn't move the needle, guys. It doesn't actually do anything. It just tells us. And actually, some studies have said the ads with good strength actually outperform those that have excellent ad strength. So not always something super important, but something to bear in mind for that. Now, guys, let's talk about the third and final rule to optimize your Google Ads conversion rate. There's something not a lot of people speak about, but phone calls, guys, is a super important conversion action for your Google Ads. So my question to you is, what are you doing? How are you optimizing the data that Google sees in order to see what calls actually matter and drive value to your business? Okay, so I'm going to go through some methodology now on phone call conversion optimization. If you're in industries like healthcare, the automotive industry, home service, insurance, legal services, the chances are somebody submitting lead details isn't the best quality lead. You might find, for example, the people phoning in, lead is a better quality lead for you guys. So what happens here is they click on your ad to phone up. It's a really high qualified lead. They go and make the sale, but Google doesn't know that the person followed in is a really qualified lead and goes and makes a sale. Okay, so we need to tell and train Google to look at the phone conversion data and feed that back into Google So it can optimize around more people that are likely to take action, that are driving value to the business versus just calling for more information, for example. And here's the reality, guys, okay? We heard a statistic that around 40% of calls that come through Google Ads don't even get answered, okay? Huge drop off and huge potential there. That's a potential opportunity. Number one is how many people are phoning up through your Google Ads and how many of those calls aren't actually being answered, okay? We need to look at that first. Even some of those that do get answered, only half of them are qualified leads, for example. So we want to then optimize also for that the 2/3 of the people that do actually phone us don't even convert on the call, right? But think about it, guys. Think about it for a second, okay? Because you are driving, you are paying money to drive somebody to call your business, but because Google can't see that data, it can't then find other people who are more likely to take action and more qualified for your business. So we need to set in some methodologies and boundaries so that we can teach Google what is a qualified lead for us and what is not, okay? So if you guys have this, let me know in the comments down below. On the flip side, guys, if you do improve these, even by a fractional percent, okay? So say, for example, you answer 5% more calls, you qualify 5% more leads, and then you close 5% more sales on the phone, those 5% have a compounding effect on our conversion rates, guys. If we look at all three of those metrics and we optimize for those, then that will have a knock-on effect and a compounding effect on our conversion rates for Google Ads. So to illustrate this with a data to show you guys how much this moves the needle, some example data to use so you can see exactly how this changes and moves the needle. So say, for example, a business spends $4,000 on Google Ads. And from that $4,000 ad spend, you get maybe 1,000 booked calls. Based on averages, maybe out of those 1,000 calls, maybe 82 of those calls that they turn into sales or generated revenue. And let's say for this example, 82 sales, generating revenue of say 41,000, which is not bad, guys, okay? So from the $4,000 ad spend, we've made $41,000 revenue. Now, let's say we make some 5% adjustments, okay? Suddenly, instead of 82 sales, okay, you're getting 114 sales, okay? But that small increase has meant that the 114 sales now has generated just over $54,000 worth of revenue, right? So just increasing these small conversion steps can drive massive revenue for the business, guys. And this is what I wanted to illustrate to you in the data, okay? You can get these increased results without even spending a penny more if you just look at optimizing around some of your sales data, around some of the conversion rates around your phone calls. What Google needs to know, okay? Was the call answered? Was a caller qualified by your definition? And did it convert into an appointment, into a sale, or into a booking, for example, okay? And if the answer is no, then we need to look at optimizing these things, okay? Then we need to look at, for example, third-party tools that allow us to feed that data back into Google, which means that when Google has that inside look, okay, it's not just about who clicks on the ad, who browses the site, who fills in the form, where that lead information gets stored. So what this unlocks for us is the ability to retarget any people that phone us but then didn't convert on the call, okay? So we can retarget those in their own separate funnels and strategies. We can suppress or exclude non-leads and converted calls from seeing any new ads, okay? You don't want somebody who's already taken action to the business to see that ad again, because then you're just wasting your ad spend. And you can use the most valuable calls within your lookalike audiences to try and find other people that are going to resonate, okay? So you can use that data in your lookalike audiences as well. That way, guys, now once Google has that data, you can feed it back into the Google Ads system. And now the Google Ads AI isn't just optimizing around clicks on somebody clicking on the phone number, but is understanding the type of people that are clicking on the phone number and driving value to the business and find more people like that, okay? So guys, how do we do this? Well, step number one is to set up your enhanced conversion tracking, okay? Very important. You may also need to use some call tracking software specifically that can capture the outcomes of each call, okay? So in this instance, okay, if you have a CRM or a customer relationship management system, if somebody picks up the call, they mark that call or that lead as a qualified call, that data from the CRM gets sent back into Google so that it knows what is the most important action to us, okay? So this is why we feed that data back in. And for example, if you have a CRM, anybody answering the call can say, hey, they can tick the box and say, this is a qualified lead. That customer information that gets fed back into Google so that Google can try and find more people like that, okay? So we need to set up enhanced conversion tracking on your Google Ads, okay? It's in the Google Ads setting of the Ads Manager, and make sure that you have this turned on. If you do have a third-party tool for your call data, then what you'll also be able to do is use this data to improve the staffing and operations of your business itself. You'll be able to see what calls are being missed, what calls are being handled, what is the conversion rate of those calls, and all those things within a third-party tool. So this allows you to optimize your call conversion tracking even more, okay? Because you can also manage the team and see where there are some potential pitfalls or some potential rooms for optimization so that you can train the sales team to enhance your conversion rates there as well with phone calls. And the third tip to this rule is to then leverage that call data in your audience targeting. Okay, if you think about it, if someone called and didn't buy, you can retarget them potentially with a follow-up offer, right? What's the conversion rate of that happening? Of somebody who's highly, highly interested and just needs a nudge over the line, okay? Presenting a really nice offer can increase conversion rate. If somebody has already booked, then you can exclude them from your targeting so they don't see the same ads, okay? So that's my tip number 3 from this rule, guys, is to use this data in your audience targeting as well to ensure that we can remarket and exclude people who are coming down the funnel to ensure that your tailored ads journeys are super, super tailored. So my final takeaway for this rule is to check your current call tracking, and you aren't just counting calls, you're measuring the answered calls, you're qualifying the leads, and you're optimizing your conversions. If not, start there, guys. These simple tricks can really, really elevate your conversion rates, okay? So that's what we will be doing as well with our clients. Ultimately, guys, because the difference in Google Ads success between different campaigns is very reliant on the data that we can feed back into Google so it can find us other great results that are going to resonate with the things that has already worked, okay? So when you track the full impact of your ads, especially those calls, then you'll see a true ROI of all of your ad spend and be able to see exactly what the conversion rate is across the board. So that's it, guys. Just to zoom out, okay? 3 rules: smarter bidding, qualifying those clicks by using specific headlines and descriptions in your Google ads themselves, and third, tracking those calls to ensure that anyone who is qualified that is phoning us, that data is getting fed back into Google Ads so the ads AI can learn and find us better results as well. Okay, so they're my 3 tips and tricks, guys. Hit me a comment down below if you got any questions. Guys, if you want to know what the AdWizard team has coming up next, you want to signal your intent of interest, click the link down below to join the AdWizard waitlist today and be the first to get exclusive access to what the AdWizard team has coming up next. Hit the link below to join the waitlist, absolutely free. Just a waitlist if you want to sign up today, guys. I appreciate every single one of you. And that's it for today, guys. Hopefully now you have a good understanding of 3 key strategies that can potentially move the needle for your Google Ads. Guys, leave me a comment down below if you got any questions or if you have any other tips that you'd love to share with the community. I appreciate every single one of you for watching and exploring these ideas together. Like I said, a lot of these strategies that we are also running out for our clients, so I'll come back and let you know the result of these things as well as to how these strategies are also impacting your business. Guys, I'm your boy Jerry the AdWizard. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. You can catch me on LinkedIn at Jerry Griffiths, on X and Instagram at Jerry AdWizard, and at Jerry Dreadlocks everywhere else. If you want to watch a video on how to train your Meta Ad AI, okay, I've got a walkthrough here, exactly the same principles. If you're running Meta Ads and you want to know how this works and training your Ad AI for Meta Ads, click this video over here. I've got a walkthrough over here that you can put. Appreciate all the support, guys. I'm your boy Jerry the AdWizard, and wherever you are in the world, I bid you peace and love and a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.